What's going on, guys? It's David. We're here with Smart Fitness, and technically we're at the private Smart Fitness enterprise, if you will. We are in my garage. We're currently in the midst of COVID-19 quarantine, but with that being said, gains don't stop, so we're going to be talking about how to deadlift today. This has been a video that I've been in the works to make all the way back, dating to essentially September of 2019. I wrote it in August of 2019, but then I had the Crohn's surgery and that set us back, and then through recovery, trying to build on my own areas, shifting my focus from that of a more strength-based focus to detailing more Crohn's, colitis, surgery-related, transformation-related content. This one kind of took a back burner. So here we are. We're going to film it. It's a little bit less of a professional background than what I would have liked, but we're going to work with it as it is. So today we're going over just the conventional deadlift. There's nothing really sweet, sexy, cool about it, but if you want to learn how to deadlift and you want to deadlift better and you want to move better, this is definitely an area that you don't want to miss. Stay tuned. Now, if you guys have watched my previous videos on hinging, I'll have the link in the description below. I go over in a fairly quick and concise manner of what you want to look for when you're doing a hinge-based pattern, but I don't really go fully into detail on what it looks like to be pulling from the floor. So this video is going to be purely conventional deadlift, purely pulling from the floor, and I'm essentially going to break down everything that I do, everything I've seen, everything I've been taught on how to maximize not only your strength but also your efficiency of how to do this pull. Oftentimes, when performing the deadlift, there are a few common mistakes lifters make. The largest mistake I've seen is people moving the bar. This is a mistake because it changes the entire load distribution and setup of one's lift. Sure, we see strong men competitors do it when they're lifting, but they're also using weird implements that change the starting height of the lift. Not to mention the fact that they're world-class athletes. You, unfortunately, probably are not. So the first step in correcting and setting up your deadlift is don't move the bar. Once it is straight and parallel with your legs, you approach it, it does not move. Again, the bar does not move. So once you've established the actual setup of what we're going for here on your deadlift, of not moving the bar, we need to take a look at how we want to set up our feet. So a general rule of thumb is less than hip width apart or at hip width. In the traditional strength and conditioning realm, they typically say you're thinking train track feet, so your toes are pointing straight, and then from there you're going to set up your hinge-based pattern. But from what I've seen in the realm of powerlifting as well as the realm of strength-based training, having your feet slightly pointed out, even if it's just about a 10 to 15 degree angle, tends to be advantageous because it allows a little bit more external rotation from the glutes. Additionally, the foot itself is of importance. Typically, it's suggested in the strength and conditioning realm to have the feet pointed straight. However, I've found that having the toes pointed out slightly can increase external rotation at the hip and help maintain lower body stiffness, while producing more active assistance from the glutes at lockout. The next thing we want to talk about once we've established how we want to set up our feet would be our grip position. So in the bro world, we see that we've got the hook grip, the mixed grip, so you're over under, as well as using straps. So the beauty of using all three of these techniques is they're all doing the same purpose and same goal, helping you get a stronger position where your hands falling off the bar is not the problem on your lockout. So if you're not utilizing one of these grips and you're just doing a traditional pronated or double over grip, you're basically going to be setting yourself up where your grip strength is the rate limiting factor. When reaching for the bar, start by hinging or pushing the hips back so as to apply tension on the hamstrings. Then bend the knees to reach the bar. At no point in time does the bar move. I repeat, the bar does not move. Now that we've set up the lower body, we've got our foot position, we've got our knees bent, we've hinged at the hips, we've got our hands holding onto the bar. The next major order of operations is setting up our torso. So essentially from top of the spine all the way down to the hips where the hips start, setting up for a stable and strong position. whatever that may be for you, but this is kind of a beginner starting point and then finding variations from there. Let's look at it. The upper body's purpose in the deadlift is to act as a lever to effectively transfer force from the movers, the legs, to the weight held by the arms that attach at the torso. So we want our trunk to be as rigid as possible to transfer force as efficiently as possible. This stiffness also happens to be super important for keeping the spine in a safe, neutral position. The upper body's purpose is to stabilize the trunk and make sure that the lift does not lead to simply bending the spine to get the weight up. Therefore, set up with a neutral spinal position. To do this, slightly extend the thoracic and lumbar portion of your spine. Squeeze the bar with your hands. Pinch the shoulder blades back and down. And then finally, tuck the elbows into your back pocket. Or if you don't have a back pocket, think elbows to the back of your bum. Almost like you're trying to bend the bar. Again, at no point in time does the bar move. So to go over everything we've done thus far, we've learned how to approach the bar. We've learned how to set our feet. We've learned how to set our back. We've learned how to set our hips and knees. We've learned how to set our hands. We've learned how to set our elbows. The next thing we need to do before we actually pull the bar is go over how to brace. Let's do it now. To brace, take a deep breath into the belly, hold it tight, and then do not release it until you're at the top of the movement or the lockout, at which point you can slowly exhale and repeat the process again. To set up the brace, start by taking 2 shallow breaths into your belly, but still be able to breathe normally before you set up into the deadlift. So basically, when you're still standing upright, this will create an increase of pressure within the core, also known as intra-abdominal pressure. When you have your hands in the bar and are ready to pull, the last thing you want to do is take one last large breath to increase torso rigidity and total body stiffness, then pull. This entire process sounds like it would take a long time, but in reality it takes maybe 2 seconds. Think of the deadlift as a 2-part pull. First, you're trying to straighten the knee or knee extension. Then you're trying to bring the hips forward or hip extension. Now that this is understood, let's perform the lift. So, to finalize the setup, as one approaches the bar, they do not move the bar. They have their feet hip width apart. They hinge the hips back, the knees come down. They grab the bar with their hands. Their spine becomes neutral or natural lordotic curves. The elbows and hands try to bend the bar so as to break it. They breathe into the belly and then pull. The knees straighten, then the hips follow. The spine stays as neutral as it can throughout the entire process. Alright guys, so this is how I perform the deadlift. Now, this isn't necessarily the way that's going to work for everybody. Obviously, it's based on your individual anthropometrics, if you've injured yourself before, or if you have previously performed the deadlift in a different manner and developed patterns that you're stronger in, but may not be the most advantageous per se. So I'm not saying that that is right nor wrong, but that is just what is kind of been taught within the general strength and conditioning world, the world of kinesiology students, and the world of powerlifting, at least the extent of my knowledge within seminar, school, and actually competing. Alright guys, we'll see you in the next video. I hope you found this informative. As always, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace.